Today I have 7 ways for you to make money as a calligrapher. Now, in my previous video on how to monetize your business as a calligrapher, I gave you 5 totally different ideas on how to monetize yourself. So today is 7 more, so that makes a total of 12 ways I think you can make a living as a calligrapher. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Pretty Fabulous, and I help online businesses create beautiful digital downloads using Adobe InDesign. So if this sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday, and I do unboxings on Saturday. Now I obviously also talk about calligraphy, I just haven't changed my intro yet, but I will work on that. All right, so if you have not, make sure to go and watch my other video on how to monetize 5 different ways on how to monetize calligraphy as a business. But more importantly, in that video, I go through all of the different supplies that I use. There is a buying kit inside there, and I also go through all the resources I used when I was first learning how to do calligraphy in the first place. So today we are only talking about 7 different ways you can start making money. So in addition to the other ones. So the first one is to start looking local. So I used to say, go on to Etsy and bid for jobs, but the only problem with that is that you are bidding for jobs against like the whole world, right? Or maybe just in the US or wherever you're locally located. Now, if you are going to start bidding on, say, Craigslist or on, say, TaskRabbit or on, what is the other one? On Upwork, you're going to find that people are going to pay a little more, and they are looking for someone a little more professional. I don't even know why. I know Craigslist sounds like it's not going to happen there, but it actually does. So I would definitely look into those as a separate way, especially if you are a higher end calligrapher and you are wanting to charge higher rates than the $1.20. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but most of the ones who are charging $1.20 are usually only doing black ink, or they're super, super amateurish, and they are just not going to be, it's going to be frustrating for you to try to keep competing with them. Now, the second thing is to offer an entire wedding design suite. So I talked about wedding invitations before, but I think what you could do if you're not a designer like me, you could definitely work with somebody. I just made a set of wedding design invitations for someone to resell. Like, I didn't even think about this. So it's a calligrapher, and she chose 3 different styles. She chose a very high-end black tie style. She chose a modern, clean, simple, sort of urban chic look. And then she chose a very country, like small town, homey feely look to them, and it's an entire suite. And I taught her how to just change the dates and the location and the names, and that's all she has to do to make edits and like colors, and that's so she can just go off on her own with those templates. So if that is something you are interested in, I can make a new suite. Obviously I can't make those because I just sold them to her. Let me know below, and I can make wedding invitation suites, and then you could buy those, and I can give you a tutorial on how to change those. So that is one idea. As well as with wedding invitations, you could become a printer. So I usually always go to professional printers, but there's no reason you can't do thermography at home, or you can't do letterpress or any of those other things if you have the equipment and the space. So, I saw a video the other day where someone is doing that out of her home. I think it's a little like you have to be very passionate about it, because it is more time consuming. But if you're able to offer a more authentic look and feel, or work with certain types of papers, or, you're somebody where you can do rush jobs because you're local, then I think this could be a really great opportunity for you to be a wholesaler of services to other people who are calligraphers, or maybe even just directly to brides who are trying to design their own. The third thing is to charge for your supplies. So when I was talking to this other person, we were talking about calligraphy, and I thought it was crazy because she just charges extra when she uses, say, special gouaches, or if she uses certain metallics, and you are going to be stuck with all of that inventory. And I don't think that it is unfair to charge for the supplies that are specific to that wedding. I know that some people will just charge extra to say, oh, because you're getting the gold, it's going to be extra. I don't really like to do that. I'd like to just charge for the supplies, because I feel like just in the customer's mind, they have a better connection, or they feel like it's more legitimate. And quite honestly, you can just keep the supplies afterwards. It's not like they're going to ask for your half-used supplies to get back. And the other thing, the only thing that I do give to clients is the wax seal. So if I have a wax seal that I have made for a particular client, I just give them the wax seal at the end. So This is a better way for you to charge what you want for calligraphy and then separate the supplies and not sort of just undercut yourself and mark down your shrink your profit even more. Number 4 is to go pro. So there was a huge difference between someone like on Etsy who's just doing a couple envelopes here and there and somebody who wants to charge a higher rate and really provide a full service. So if you can have a website where you have an actual real business name, even if it's just something like Lisa Siefert Calligraphy, right? Have it branded, have colors, have a social media platform, start putting out, things for brides or things for restaurants, like whoever your target customer is, so that you can start building up your mailing list and selling your calligraphy services to them. So I think having all of these things, as well as especially 100% your own website, is really going to make a difference if you want to make this a real job and a real career. Number 5 is to learn chalk lettering. Now, I am actually horrible at chalk lettering. I've tried it. It ends up all over my face and in my hair and on my clothes. It's like a mess. And then as soon as I make something beautiful in chalk lettering, then I accidentally touch it and I've ruined the whole thing. So I am not someone who can teach you chalk lettering. However, I can confirm that it is very profitable. So for example, my boyfriend owns a bar and restaurant. And so they are always hiring hand letterers who are experts in chalk lettering to come in and redo the signs. They have different specials for the beers. They have different cute messages for different seasons and different months or different special events. And so they have tons of chalk signs, and when the employees write it, it's okay. But when you have a professional chalk letterer come in and do it, or someone who can use those markers, then it looks so much better. So if that is something you can offer, and again, I would definitely join your local chamber of commerce and start networking, especially a lot of restaurants and bars I know have local sort of associations where they all get together and they talk about where they can get supplies. I would definitely 100% scope out restaurant supply stores, because he is always going to restaurant supply stores to buy restaurant supplies. So if you can get a little card in there about your chalk lettering, that is 100% just going to sell the business for you. Number 6 is stop selling wall art. Now, I know this is kind of easy to do, but because it's so easy to do, you're competing with everybody. I think a more lucrative thing to do is, just like with the wedding invitations, like selling a whole suite, is to create an entire suite or branded collection around a specific theme. Now, I don't know if that is, I was going to say a Disney theme, but obviously that's trademarked. But, do a theme around a different color or a season or an event, like having a baby, and have a ton of things that are related to that, or cute little messages. So if someone is looking to buy a present or a gift for somebody, they can just pick up your whole entire suite. Or maybe they are just doing office, white elephant presents, or they are doing a gift for a neighbor or a coworker. And so it's something cute and small that they can get for that special occasion. So if you need ideas, I would go to a florist website like 1-800-Flowers or FTD Flowers and look at all the different occasions that they have inside of there, and that should spark like a million ideas for you on different suites of products that you can create. And again, you can use Society6, you can use Zazzle, and that will take your artwork and put it onto different products like pens and pencils, notepads, coffee mugs, obviously, tumblers, t-shirts, all of those different things that you can then have that entire design line available for people to purchase. Number 7 is to write a book. So I don't know why, I think you guys all know this, I'm an author, and I'm always wondering why there aren't more calligraphy books. So this is one from Molly Suberthorpe called The Calligrapher's Business Handbook. This one is from Laura Hooper on wedding calligraphy, and for some reason there are just not a lot of books on the business side of calligraphy. There's a bunch of books on how to hand letter, how to learn stuff, and again, you could definitely make one of those, but I feel like there's not a lot of memoirs, there's not a lot of books on different markets, or maybe you could just talk about chalk lettering for restaurants, right? So there are obviously people out there doing it, and they're kind of just figuring it out on their own. They're reading a ton of blog posts, but people still like books. I know, Crazy, right? So if you are thinking about writing a book, definitely subscribe to my author channel because I have a lot of tips on that. But I think it is always an excellent idea to put your experiences, your special spin on something, your how-to into a book. All right, so that's our list of 7. So let's quickly recap. So number 1 was to get off Etsy and start looking local at Craigslist and Upwork and other things like that. And number 2 was to start offering an entire wedding design suite, but just offer a limited collection that you get from another designer, which could be me. Just let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to create one. And then also on the flip side of that is maybe if you really are into thermography or to letterpress, is to buy that machine and just do it yourself at your house and then outsource your services to others in the industry. Number 3 is to charge for supplies separately. Number 4 was to go pro and really do a lot of branding and make yourself legitimized, you know what I mean. And number 5 is to learn chalk lettering. Number 6 is to stop doing wall art and sell an entire suite so focused around a theme that maybe you found on FTD Flowers or somewhere like that. And number 7 is to write a book. All right, if you are interested more in calligraphy, or if you're just somebody who happened to stumble upon this and want to learn calligraphy, I have a class on classic copperplate that I am teaching, and I am a strong believer in that you should always learn the classics and the basic principles before you move on to, like, there's all these classes in bounce lettering and hand lettering and brush script, and those are great, but sometimes I feel like if you've never done calligraphy before, it's really overwhelming and confusing. So classic copperplate, if you're not familiar with that, that is like the original form of calligraphy that was ever invented back in the 12th century. It is also known as English roundhand, and I am going to be teaching that to a small group of students. So I'm going to try to do it online. I usually do it in workshops, so obviously it would be at a very discounted rate because I want to try it out and get feedback before I sort of make it an official course. So make sure to sign up below if you want to be notified when that course goes live. And I hope everyone is having a great day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.